getting diddied. He's getting diddied out there. Did he call the police? Did he call the police? Alright. Let's do all the... We gotta do preliminary sharing because I forgot to do that. Let's get some of the new content, baby. Oh, that's a good one to share for later. Do that. Hold on, we're almost there, everybody. Go there. Good, it actually did update it. Let's do that. I should have saved that for it. Oh well. Okay. Oh, I need to turn the heater off because it's already being picked up by the microphone. All right. There we go. What's happening, everybody? It's your boy Hardcorn, and today we got ourselves even more action Taimanin. You know it. You sure do love it. And the same here for me. Because we've got ourselves a brand new outfit. We got fun stuff galore. We have a new VR boss. All kinds of stuff. It's like it's going to be a great day to say the least. Francis is the Diddy party to say the least. She's a Diddy and a half. My God, she picks up those 55-gallon drums of lube, no problem. She sprays it around like a fucking fire hose. Regardless, though, how's everybody been? Is everybody having a good Saturday? Everybody extremely excited for Mr. New VR boss. This boss is actually quite easy, and we'll be talking about that later, because it certainly is a surprise to say the least. It's much better than it was for Ingrid, because Ingrid is a buggy mess, and it's very annoying to say the least for most characters, ranged or melee. Guys, missed it yesterday though. We're playing Dark Souls. Dark Souls. It's great. I gotta unmute the game. No, I gotta turn up the game. How about that? It's very cute today. It's a little bit different from my usual, like, very produced one where it's a bunch of information. I just thought, like, I don't want to make another one, so I'll just crop a very nice picture that I found looking for Astaroth. Because one of the most important things today we got is Astaroth's new costume. The Cyber Demon. The Cyber Seaman Demon, to say the least. This is actually a costume I was looking forward to during the newsletter earlier in the month. Infernal Threshold. It comes with a weapon, and it also comes with a supporter. We'll have to take a look at those too. We'll read about the supporter later. But it comes in fabulous colors. It's part of the Time of 5 VR set where everybody gets to be Super Sentai characters. We have Red Ranger Astaroth. What is it? It's Red Ranger Astaroth. White Ranger Asagi right over here. She's White Ranger because she gets the special powers that beats everybody and everybody has to play catch up. I think there's actually a way to check that out. Let's go to collections. Costumes. Asiago has hers. Who all has one? I require assistance with this one because I legitimately can't remember it. I know these two right now. I think Murasaki has one. if anything, you could consider this one to be it. She's a very considerate Blue Ranger. Dude, Short Circuit. Here, I was calling him Wally because it's like that's the first thing that comes to mind. I haven't thought of Short Circuit in probably like 15 years. And you know what? Now that you've mentioned it, though, Cardinal, I'm probably gonna end up seeing it like when they play it on like the movie rotation at work. I think Shiranui got one. Oh, Flamenco one. That was from last year. Can you believe, though, it's already been a year since they've released some of these costumes? Time sure does fly. See, Miss Gemily Simmons. I don't think she has one. Did this rerun? Yes, it did rerun. It's probably going to rerun about every single year at this point. Volt's Christmas. Obora would be the Black Ranger. She'd be one of the putties. She is explicitly evil. I don't know if Asuka has one or not. Either way, they need to make more of the set for it. Because I think we currently have 2, but I can't exactly tell who's going to get it next. Murasaki, Asuka, Shisui, and Rin. Oh, that's right. It's also part of the clones setup. So it's... what is it? Murasaki, she has hers. Which one was that? So Mu-chan. Is it really where is it? Where's Divine Armor? So okay. So she's Blue Ranger version would be for Murasaki. It's the secret weapon one, and then wow, you just hit back and it sends it. Awesome. I thought we were gonna go to that one. So that's. And then Asuka has hers, her Super Angel. Yeah, that makes sense. Why does it do that? And Shiranui, what does she have for that? It's not that one. Would it really be that one for Shiranui? I wouldn't think so, would it? The young costume? Every single one of these are paid. Every single one. That's right. Shisui has hers and Rin has hers. And I specifically remember that because it's Shisui's is the funny cat pose one. It has been ran twice, and I still don't have it because I honestly like Shisui. For me, is she's explicitly used in the arenas as my anchor, and that's about it. I like what she does by being extremely strong and plays automatically, but there's nothing else for me there. Rin, on the other hand, is a bit different because it's there's the Officer Good and Sexy one. There it is. Thunderbolt. So it's like, what is she the Black Ranger or is she like the Gray Ranger or something? So I think we have an entire we have almost another Super Sentai team entirely. So what we have: Red Ranger Astaroth, let's just say Black Ranger Rin, White Ranger Asagi, Pink Asuka, Blue Murasaki. That's 5 people. I guess maybe Gray or something like that for Shisui, so that makes 6. Kurenai has one. I don't know. I don't pay very much attention to Karini outside of a few things. No, I didn't need that. No, I wouldn't say that. It's like she has... Would it be this? I wouldn't think so. Oh, so wow, this thing will probably not a divine armor. That kind of steals the thunder from like Asagi though, because she would be the White Ranger character. This hasn't been ran since November of 22. So this will be on 3 years that we haven't seen the half vampire package at all. That also means that they have not considered anything for current. They haven't done anything with Current Eye in like the last year. Like in the last 12 months, they've done so much with her. Like they've given her her Oni outfit. They've done Whirlwind's Christmas when they gave her her renewal and everything like that. They gave her another outfit set. They gave her Battle Scarred. They gave her One Day Job. That's ran twice, actually. 2 times in a row. I guess they really wanted people to come pick it up at some point. Indomitable Totiko. Okay, that's, what, 7 people now? Because I don't have Indomitable Tokiko. Yeah, everybody forgets Tokiko. Because I don't even... I certainly forget about her unless I'm not doing VR stuff. Because, yeah, Indomitable Tokiko, she'd be the Purple Ranger. Is that even a thing? Do they even have purple outside of, like, specific... They probably do that for, like, a crossover movie or something. Would Saika's stealth armor work? That doesn't really... That seems like something more like a Kamen Rider thing, rather than directly Super Sentai. Where is she? She released... There she is. I'm happy I don't have, like, I got all the ones that aren't specifically limited for her. They're just permanents. Stealth armor. Oh, it doesn't give him my custom color. I wanted Iron Man Saika. I wanted Iron Man Saika. Tokiko. Saika gets really good costumes that really show off her gigantic ass. So we have, what do we have? 7 confirmed essentially for the time of VR sort of thing. He's sassy. We got the sassy evil behind us. Alright, so let's... Well, actually, before we do anything like that, we got reminded about Fat Astaroth over here. So with her design for Infernal Threshold, it is certainly neat to say the least. They have a lot going on. Shows off a lot of skin, really good stuff here. In like the supporter art for this, though, it shows her standing on the ground, and I was like, that's unbelievable. Astaroth would never touch the ground, and she doesn't. She just floats there. She has atrophied legs and everything like that. And now we have a propulsion method to show that she's actually floating because of a jet, not because of her force of will. Though I think it's more or less the latter in most cases. And you can take the helmet off, though. You can change your hat. You can change it. You can let her hair down so she can burn it, though I think it would more or less burn whatever's down there. But you can take it off. You can see her big old butt and everything like that. Miss Little Lady does everything so right. Laggy, yeah, it's getting laggy. Uh-oh. Yep, that's what I thought. It's lagging up. That's fucking awesome. I love it. I love it. I love it. It's great. I don't know what the fuck happened there. Of course, it doesn't do anything like this yesterday, but it does it right now. Oh, look at that. Now it's back. Looks a lot more stable now. Oh, I love it. I had to go check the router on that sort of thing. But at least it's a lot more stable now. Let's see what happens though. Look at that. It shows like on my dropped frames, it's 11,600. So I imagine it just straight up like dropped like a rock or something. I wouldn't understand why. Probably some sort of congestion and whatever. Because I'm looking at like what my Ethernet's looking right now. It's sending a lot of data actually, but it's like in terms of receiving, it's not doing too much. I mean, I kind of expect that unless I'm getting receiving a lot more data like I would now. It's a lag spike situation, but I think also the router got damaged somehow, because there's witness marks on the wall where it looks like it got knocked over or something and one of the antennas fell off. I didn't even notice that happened until like today. And it's and for the most part, it's just like I certainly haven't lost any Wi-Fi connection or anything like that, because there's still 2 working antennas. Of course, it just has to happen now, as always. All right, well, back into it. Infernal Threshold itself is it's her newest package. Looks real good. You can see her butt and everything like that. I really like this. I really like that one. We're got like the booty renaissance over here, because thank goodness we're able to see this sort of stuff. They realize if the girls just put their hair up, and it's just like it makes that much a difference. It makes splurging the amount of cash it takes to see their butt is immensely worth it. The helmet is just really funny though. She's got like the big old like VR helmet on her head, and she's like looking dumb as hell. And she's just happy to be here for the most part. You can make her the Blue Ranger, you can make her the Yellow Ranger, or in my case, I made her, I gave her all like the metal portions to look like steel colors. Though it kind of conflicts with the actual parts that look like steel that are made of steel in the first place. But it's a doable situation to say the least. How you doing there, Jeff? How you been? We're checking out Astaroth right now. It's okay. It's so strange. Like this lady right here, she's got one of the biggest personalities in the game. It makes her seem a whole lot larger than life than she actually is, because she's also one of the shortest characters in the game in the first place. She's so sassy. She's so sassy. If her and Kurenai got in a sass off, I don't think there would be no definite winner over there. Oh, she just hates it. She hates these things. You giving her garbage. Very cool. But she also managed to get a new weapon out of this in the first place. We have the AXXR Lost Drive. This is, well, it's a certainly interesting weapon to say the least. Because now this allows her to round out... She now has one specific type of weapon for each one of her tricolor skills. Which is fantastic to say the least. Only a few characters in the game ever get something like that in the first place. I think it's what, like Asagi, Murasaki, Rinko. Rinko doesn't have one. No, she does. Rinko has one, and Shiranui does for sure. Is it good? No. That's just it. Now, you want to know how they? You know how we? I can already tell it's like they had zero faith in this item. Let's go to collections. There's something very special about the collections thing. Is they spend a lot of time writing the lore for every single one of the weapons and the supporters. So we go to something like this. We'll talk about Micah later. The AXXR Lost Drive is an attached weapon system, the state-of-the-art powered suit that was being developed in the UFS facility Fuckberg. It was created to mimic the high-ranking demon Astaroth's power and recreate Supernova. However, the technology wasn't suitable enough to make it at that time, so it was limited to recreating Hellblaze. The Hellblaze was limited for use only within the army, and it was able to make high-power flames through the demonic energy charged within, which would push back the enemy and designed not to damage allies. Because that's all the data we could salvage from the facility remains. The whereabouts of the prototype attached weapon system are unknown. Considering where the suit belongs, it would probably be in the hands of Astaroth herself. It's not good. It's really not. It's mediocre at best because it's Astaroth. She has a very high bar that she sets herself because of Undying Apocalypse and what does it look? What's something on Nephrin Ka? It's the where is it? I did not destroy that weapon. I know that for sure. I think it's like in my storage unit, but it's no, I'm using that for my armory. I know. I remember. Yeah, Wiccan Nephrin Ka. It's 100. This is for her green, and it does a lot better in the first place. It puts Terrorize. You can use it every 8 seconds, and it does it to that immediately. And then the more stacks you get of Terrorize on a person, it makes it do more damage to a character. So it rounds out her by herself. She can just keep spamming that in the first place. It's like second best to, Undying Apocalypse. This, however, it increases the area of effect and duration of Hellblaze by 30%, that's fixed, and increases critical rate by 25%, that's going to max out at 40% too, for allies within range. So it takes advantage of the of melee attribute allies who will go inside or wherever the enemy is being struck. So whenever an enemy is like fighting inside Hellblaze, whether they're ranged or melee, they get an increased critical rate. So, and each time on hitting an enemy with Hellblaze, it decreases the enemy's critical resistance by 30% for half a second. So this lasts, I think it's like 6 seconds. Let's see. 22 seconds. Okay. So it's we have to time it again. because it's been a long time since I've actually used Hellblaze in any capacity. We'll be using it today. This will be actually a good one to show off when we do VR, because Astaroth this week against Wally. Astaroth, when you fight with Wally, against Wally with her, she kind of floors the poor boy because he is specifically limited to a lot of melee attacks, but hits extremely hard, just like our good old boys, the LWS squad. They hit super hard, and he does the same thing too. So if you can stay ranged, well, congratulations, you've won the fight. We'll talk about that sooner or later. Like it's quite literally just okay. The only thing that gets modified with this is the 20 to 40% critical rate boost. Obviously, you are not taking this to 100. You will need. It's one of those situations where you're gonna take so much critical rate boost and enemy critical defense down or whatever that you're just gonna miss out on all of the damage. You like the composition for what I did earlier this week for when he released is like you just sit there and you like there's specific attributes about how freeze works, and it's like because freeze itself will break up the character's AI, and it makes a very bad time for them. It makes it so they don't work. It's effectively like if freeze does their job for 5 seconds, and then when you unfreeze them or whatever, or if they thaw out, their AI does not know what to do for 2 or 3 more seconds. So you just drop, so you can just like apply more freeze. It's how Ragnarok keeps up her chain freezing and everything like that. Before we take a look at that though, well actually we have the supporter too to take a look at as well. Micah is going to be getting a renewal soon at the beginning of next month. And everybody knows that she's hot, she's fun to use, except she's great in every other aspect but actually playing her. Like she's got that god-awful basic string skills that just don't work. It's not exactly better mind control. It's mind control prevents like all movement and actions in the first place. Freeze, it's like, you know, if it gets broken apart or anything like that, you need deep freeze to make it comparable against mind control. And even then, it's like mind control just offers that much better safety. I'd rather have mind control in most situations because it's just a nicer skill to have. Micah herself, though, has gotten herself a VR weapon to her name. This is actually a really, really cool thing in the first place. So this is Riot Weapon 10-9. It's specifically made out of the parts from Tenkyu 2. So what it does is it increases the damage of explosive by 37.5%, and when you use explosive, it additionally drops 3 missiles that deal damage equal to 250% of her attack. This is not that great. It's effectively like what Emily's weapon is, where you don't really care about the skill itself, though Emily's skill is generally nice to have in the first place because you can just use it to kick some ass in arena, but you typically are going to be using the Taimanin weapon in the first place. This makes Micah, so it's like I've used Micah every single week in Machine VR, so this is actually like a godsend for her because it makes it so that she takes less damage and gives more damage at the same time. No, this one isn't in Desire. There is a special bonus going on in VR right now where you have... Let's go to the shop. They have one that's going on right now. That's the regular $30,000 copy. And they have a second one that's going on at the same time. And it costs $25,000. So you have to spend like 55,000 coins to go pick it up yourself. And frankly, it's a good time to do so because Another thing that nobody really has said to mention is that we now have 6 bosses for VR. So when Wally leaves, he's not going to be back for a month and a half. So whenever you like miss anything for one of these battles, it's really going to hurt. Because at this rate, we have 6. You're going to see, I think, the boss itself 8 times a year. That's obviously more than enough time to pick up a 5/5 copy of the weapon, but you can't miss at that point. I kind of hope that they're going to do something about that in the first place, where they have the concept of like, okay, we're gonna go check this thing out, and because it's gonna take literally over 6 weeks for you to get back to a boss again that you wanted to farm up for, or was easy for a player, or you want to get the resources from it. That's not gonna happen for literally over a month, which kind of sucks. But that is the reality of how the game works. But back on her weapon though, this is nice. This is like really great. I find like I've always been using her not VR, her arena weapon for the most part, because it's been cheap and it keeps Micah out of the fight, and so she can just keep using the debuffs and pelting enemies from far away. Now Micah can actually prove to apply damage as well from a distance, so it doesn't feel like she's just slapping around a wet noodle situation, though most of my damage dealt with during LWS squad is with Astaroth. Micah is just there so she can activate debuffs, which is just fine by me. I get a whole hell of a lot of use out of her. Oh, I'm trying to find the video that like they show off for the renewal of Micah, and it's like, where is it? I can't find it because it's not, because like I want to go to their Twitter page for the Action Taimanin one, and like it's not there. It's not there. Where did it go? There it is. Swagnarok. Huh. It's not there. They didn't put it up. They just put it as a YouTube short. Okay. Can't pause it. It's also extremely loud. I just realized that. Okay, that's better. I can go put that over there. Can I mess with the quality? No, I can't mess with the quality, so I get to look at it. We get to look at her in potato mode. Let's go remember to turn down Giggle Chrome, because that's gonna blow out my freaking ears. Okay. So we have her there. Let's go back a little bit so we can make a comparison. Let's put in the original costume. I don't want to take off the bunny girl costume, but I have to. Okay. So let's see. Let's go to the weapon page. That's where you get the stance. So from what it looks like, they certainly made her much bigger. Like we got like, you know, she's looking like regular mode over here, and then in the video clip itself, she's enormous. She is certainly packing some major heat, to say the least. Like, wow, she was already big in the first place. I couldn't imagine. It's like, all right, we're gonna go even higher. I'm not gonna go off on the planet. I'm going on the moon. I'm inflating her double set of moons. You idiot. Like, they just really don't like Kiara now, I guess. It's like, because they went from like supporting her all day in and day out from the very beginning of the game, and now it's like, all right, well, we're just not going to do that anymore. Congratulations to everybody who spent their a mortgage payment on Kiara. Take that, Obama! I'm pissing on the moon! You idiot! I'm gonna go higher. I made her chest insanely big. You have 24 hours before the milk droplets hit the earth. Now get out of my sight before I milk on you too. Well, you certainly didn't miss much there, Darth Neo. We're checking a look at the little video clip they showed of like what Micah looks like for renewal. So it's like we're seeing what she looks like compared to that. She certainly did get bigger. It makes you wonder. It's like, what did they change the? Oh, that's perfect. Let's go to costume. Where is weapon? It's hard to tell. I know they obviously made like her chest bigger, but did they do anything with the No, certainly the thighs aren't bigger. Well, we won't know yet, because they're certainly putting a lot of details. Alright. Let's take that off. I don't think they made anything else. It sucks. It's like, why did they gotta do that? Okay, now I can put the costume back on. We got Bunny Girl. It's the only costume I'm ever gonna bother to use because it's super good. Wow, she really did get bigger, because you can see it like in the when she does this, moves her shoulder and her arm, like you can already see it's like they made her huge. They made her lore accurate to size. But her weapon, it does this. Where is it? This is explosive rounds. Most people don't know this because nobody ever uses this skill because it's terrible. So it's what she's gonna do is like she gets hit, she's gonna fire off missiles and do the counterattack at the same time. It's not good. It's really, really bad. Because it does what she does best in VR, is getting hit all the time. So it takes advantage of that fact in the first place. There's actually a really cool lore note about the weapon itself. You guys should actually go read more about the weapon descriptions in the first place. Like you can see, it's like whenever you say like, oh, they don't put enough effort into the game in the first place, there are 504 weapons and they have a description for each one of them. It's not, and it's like they had like a little bit of time, they put it in there. This is what Riot Weapon 10.9 does. So it's a hand cannon made from the data of Chinese Union's automaton Tenkyu 2. It was originally designed to suppress riots or civil unrest, thus made to use tear gas or less lethal rubber bullets as a type of grenade launcher. I really don't want to be shot by a rubber bullet the size of a 40mm round. If a Taimanin uses it, one can greatly increase the range of their ninja arts, and it was improved in that way. However, in the process of making it a hand cannon, a giant fan was installed in the backside as a cooling system, but the fan motor's heat makes it useless, making the weapon a defective product. Jokes aside, I can't even tell if this weapon's a helicopter or a weapon. Well, let's just say it's a fitting end for something built to fail. My goodness, they had zero faith in the weapon at all. because it's like it has a big old turbo prop on the back. It's got the eye from Wally. It's got the cannons that he has. It's really just like, it's a cool skin. It's just okay at best. What I'm more concerned about is like, all right, what are they gonna do with her renewal? What will they do there? But let's go to VR. Let's talk about Mr. Tenkyu number 2. Now we have to go here. We have to go into challenge. We got to talk about him. He's very special. He's easy, but he's easy when you can lock him down, just like any other boss. But he's very special in the fact that he has the ability to, well, just ruin your day, because he has a nice spin attack that maybe we can see in the future. If he gets it off, it's like it stuns, and it also does like 2/3 of your health in one attack. He hits very hard. We'll take a look at it, and I just thank you for reminding me. But it reduces damage taken from melee attacks by 30% after the animation of summoning monsters. I don't know exactly how long that lasts, but if you're a melee character in this, when you're trying to be melee DPS, it hurts a lot. Like characters like Asagi and Rin and all that sort of stuff, they kind of falter in this sort of situation, which is typically why you may bring a big DPS powerhouse like Fat Astaroth and blow things up with it. And every 10 seconds it purges all debuffs. This is good. This is it's weird, but it's weird to say, but this is good, because most other bosses in the game you can just infinitely stun or disarm them for hours on end. So the fact that they can remove the buff itself, but it also lines up with other applicable disarmament debuffs, which means you need to be on it to make sure you can keep locking the enemy down. Because if you don't do it, he's just going to get out of control and he's going to hit you real hard. We got to go look at the supporter. He's so mean. I think the supporter's green, isn't it? Well, it should be. There it is. Alright, this is the supporter. It's red. So it's a weird multifaceted aspect about it. So it increases the character's damage by 7% per one machine type ally, including self. That's 1/2. So, and the other one is increased character's critical hit rate by % per one demon type, and including self. So this makes the supporter very flexible in the aspect you could use it for. What do we have? We have 4 machine characters right now, so you need to equip 3/4 of the characters with machine goods. So if you're running full machines, you could get more damage out of this. This maxes out at 14% though, so it's kind of weak. It's very weak in the first place. There are many other supporters that are just like flat out better in most situations, because you either choose a 14% damage boost. Well, it's not 14. It's 7% per. So it goes from 21 to 42%. So you have to get this one at 5/5 in order to make the Trimerviate actually work out. Because the machine setup is like, it's okay. But it's like, Jeff gets it right here. It reads simple, but it is strong. It needs more machine characters. That's just it. It needs more characters to make it useful for machines, because, what is it? We have 4 machines. It's Shisui, Shisui, Asuka, Emily, and Micah. Those 4 machines, Emily is like a terrible damage dealing character who's like, she has like barely any use in VR in the first place, besides like a debuff bot or like setting out healing fields. Micah and Asuka are massive damage dealers though, so they can actually benefit out of this quite well. And Shisui is like, she will never die, but she's also extremely selfish in terms of damage. So you effectively need something like a healer to really take care of people like Asuka and Saika, because Asuka has no healing. Saika's healing is limited to green, and that's like, it's a good healing too because it's damage based. But it's like, you can get, if you really wanted to go for it for the damage boosting side of things, it's good. It'll only get better as time goes on though, as they add more machines to the game. Because right now it has a limited scope for the damage side. For the demon side though, it's really nice. Because it's what is it, 42, if it's 21 to 42% critical hit rate increase if you have the correct demon setup. Demons in this game are some of the strongest characters in the first place. So increasing your team's critical hit rate by 42%, then you have Hellblaze's boost, which goes, I think, like 30%. No, it's like 20 to 40% critical rate boost. So it's like you can get a pretty solid critical hit rate going on there in the first place. Because the demon condition is much easier to satisfy and also much more flexible. It's not, okay. The supporter is not that great now. It gets better in the future. That's just the long and the short of it. Because when I saw this, I thought like, well, that's not very good. That's not very good. It just doesn't feel like it works out very well in the first place. And then I thought to myself, like, Jeff got it right exactly. It'll work better at the longer the game goes on. It's just like, well, I wouldn't put it on the same level as something like, what's it called, White Feather, where it works on everybody, but it has an immense value in like top end content and really anywhere because of more hits, more damage, more opportunities to break armor instantly. This just is about team synergy. So this will have usage. This will obviously have use in in Total War, because that's 3 characters. It's totally fixed, and you can actually crit in that game mode. So having 3 demons actually makes sense to do it. Like, it wouldn't surprise me if it's like you have you put this on someone like what is it? You put it on Phantasma and it actually does a pretty damn good job. So yeah, this obviously isn't a supporter to totally write off. Pick up as many copies as you physically can though, because it will find use in the future. And obviously, even if you don't do anything like that, because it's like it's specifically designed for team content. Because if you're using it by yourself in like a regular leveling stage, it's not worth it. It really isn't. Because it's like 7%. You're gonna get a 7% boost if you're a machine. That is legitimately terrible. That's one. You will get more of a boost equipping a single Magatama with unoptimized setups than you will having the supporter in your lineup. Which is why it's specifically tailored to group content. Because it's also reduced damage taken by 10 to 20% for machine and demon type allies. This type of supporter and what it's set up for Astaroth, it just only makes me think about like, they should have ways to have supporters be characters become multifaceted or multiracial or something, because it's like. Because it really feels like, okay, they wanted to try something with making Astaroth both a demon and a machine. Because if she could get both a demon and a machine racial type at the same time, she could get both the bonuses from this, and then it would become insanely valuable. It's already valuable. It's just not fully realized yet. Who knows? Maybe in the future they will introduce like dual racial characters or something. They just need more machines. That's just it. Let's level it up though. Let's go breast quest. Oh, I forgot about this. All right, well, let's go. Oh, okay. It's this. I gotta take off all my Astaroth gear. Debuff boost. Oh yeah, this is perfect because it's debuff boosted. Fuyutsumi, and we need her. We need carry my flame princess over the threshold, Astaroth. Dude, they made her so fucking fat. Like, how do they do that? How do they do that? How do they make her so big? She's pointing up to the sky like Kamiya. You know, like from the Gurren Lagann. Supernova. Let's put her in here. I'll go change them. Emily. There's Aina. Because I want characters who are ranged and who can instantly obliterate, like, from a distance. Get drone shooter. Got Grandma. Grandma and our cool supporter. Oh, let's see. There. And we'll put armed Micah. Oh, and also, going on right now is the wonderful, amazing event that is called the whatchamacallit. They have the limited supporter rerun again, which is great. I can hardly believe that it was 6 months ago that they did the last one, but it's like, yes, it's back. So if they start doing this more often, like they have the limiter supporter rerun every 6 months, that would be honestly awesome. I would really, really like that because it makes the entire game stronger in the first place. Like I just can't get enough of that. Because it's like it gives everybody a chance to pick up like the game's most important supporters, and you don't have to worry about it or anything like that. And it's not even like it's a scammy situation. It's like, no, like when those supporters are on rate up, you will pick up like lots of copies of them. Like it's not surprising to go from like having no copies to having 4 copies. Like if you're ever gonna get like to fill up to get to the pity or anything like that, this is the place to do it. Because I know when this first came around, I did this so I could pick up more copies of the Psycha supporter and the Astaroth one, because I didn't get very many of those the first time they came around. And then I used the ticket to go pick up a copy of the Corporate Warrior Ingrid, which is great because it's obviously like nobody cared about Corporate Warrior Ingrid before Total War, and now that this reran, everybody wants a copy of it in the first place, and I can't really blame them because it works just about everywhere. Because it double stacks with Phantasma's defense crypt. There's her terrifying presence aura, and then the Ingrid debuff aura. They're 2 separate ones, so they're just really, really great at the fact of like, all right, now we can just give immediately 50% off on terms of defense for an enemy. They don't even have to be near them either. Well, the terrifying presence one does, but the Ingrid one works as soon as you walk up and start the stage, that's great. Makes life that much easier. Because people have asked, before of like what supporters should actually. That's perfect. We'll finish this, and then we'll talk about the what should you be picking from the from this rerun, or from this banner at least, because this is a banner you should roll for. That's 5 characters on the screen. They're maxing out their capacity. Oh man. Oh, we need to show off her weapon. What did that say? I just noticed something on the loading screen. It's like there's weird backwards text for some reason. And I'm wondering, like, why does it have that? Does that mean, like, all the signs that are, like... Now that's actually something I want to pay attention to, is, like, are they making it so that they have, like, mirrored text or something? So they can reuse it to set it for a different angle? Yeah. Go the sky. Why is that backwards and everything else faces forwards? What a very odd problem. Do you guys think we're going to be getting more machine characters this year? Because we have 4 in the game, and like literally our last one was Shisui. That was over a year ago too. Can you believe that though? That was over a year ago. And the thing is too, it's like Shisui with her, she just shows up and like becomes one of the best characters in the game. It was a very lackluster release for the most part on my end, because it's like, all right, Shisui now is she's very strong, but it's also she's just Emily too. She's just melee Emily. There's nothing to worry about with her. So there's not anything like too crazy. She just does everything Emily can do, but better. Not better. She's just very slow, which is a big problem for her. Because I know everybody wants Mirabelle to get in the game. I would certainly like her to come in there as well. It'd be a nice surprise. It'd be a nice surprise. It'd be very cool for her to be in there in the first place. It'd be a nice way to actually have like more machines in there. Because we have supporters that like really that do benefit machines, but it's like we don't really ever. Well, I'll be honest, I don't use all of our machines in the first place. I get a lot more use out of Asuka than anything else. Because Saika, she's a very hard damage dealer, but it's like she's a little bit too close. She hasn't shook up my composition as much. Because she's very risk prone. And when you're climbing when you're climbing, you don't want to make everything, you want to take less risk and just win. But when you're farming, you can take more risk because you can already clear it. I mean, they certainly are listening to what's going on with like people's choices. Like they're picking all the fun characters from RPGX, so it's like, you know, they're getting them in. It's not like they're you know, just they're not dropping in literally who's or anything like that. But their OCs have also hit off pretty well. Because people like Spinel and Lapis, they really do. Lapis is obviously because she's a big old blueberry, the big sexy blueberry everyone loves. I certainly like her because she's like, one is she serves a mechanical niche that everybody needs, and then we have like, and she's also super duper hot to say the least. So it's like, yeah, it's a winner. I like that. I like the pretty lady that knows how to, you know, work a good pole. Spinel, on the other hand, is like, Spinel's design is like, you know, it's just okay for me. Doesn't really wow me in the first place. But obviously, mechanically, she's like the best thing in the game. Really, really satisfying character to play. I like that. I like her a lot. Like I've said it before, but the end game, like in VR, is not like clearing. Is like you'll clear the floor. You just will. But it's like the end of the game is trying to keep as many of Spinel's, trying to keep a full 10 stack of Spinel's buff up as long as possible, which is like getting sweaty on how you're going to skill timing and application, because like it's a game within a game. That's what makes Spinel so much fun for me to play, because it's trying to, oh my god, I've got to get Demon Fang or Blade Thrust or something. I literally don't even remember the names right now. You're like using those attacks. It's like I have to get one in combo win so I can do that sort of stuff. It's like, ooh. And then even the thing about it is too is that the AI is like way better at using the skills in the first place. It's like the one time where the AI is actually doing really good in the game, because it doesn't get caught up in having to do any like missed timings or anything like that. It just goes. So like when you use her and then use Spinel in Total War, she just like, she has 10 stacks all the time. She doesn't drop them, which just like, it impresses me a lot. It's like, there's no way. It can't be. Ooh, a 99 boost? Well, it's not 99. It's what do they call it? Dang, cost down? I can dig that. Astaroth build? Oh, we're Astaroth build fighters. There we go. So let's actually equip the proper gear to her. We can take off Supernova. Let's use Hellblaze. They really didn't change that much to Astaroth in the first place. In fact, all they did was they just nerfed her a lot. I don't know, this is just to mess around with her in the first place, because it's like we have the one for killing mobs, increased damage to debuff enemies, which you can actually take that off because we're not debuffing a lot. Let's put a critical hit rate. Here we go, critical hit rate boosted. So we're using the supporter in the main that gives the increased boost to attack on a % chance on enemy kill. Look at that. Describing that sort of thing is like playing Path of Exile or something. It's a mess. Wow, that makes it really huge. I need to test how long that lasts. Because if it makes it last 30% longer, that makes it probably can make it so that it lines up with its own cooldown. "15 seconds." Okay. I need to try that again. I wasn't counting because I was looking at like, okay, it makes it last 3 more hits longer. So 6 seconds. And since it reduces the, what is it? It increases critical hit rate of people inside. Because his weapon is actually like, it's kind of cool. I like the idea of it increasing critical hit rate because it's like, because Astaroth right now does not really have a home in Total War yet, because she stays too far away from the boss to do any meaningful damage, and she doesn't bring any debuffs to the table. She doesn't bring any team. Astaroth is very selfish, so because she doesn't bring any team buffs or anything like that with her, which makes it very hard for her to find a home there, because to do nicely in Total War is to have really solid synergy with everybody, which is why people will keep taking Spinel, Spinel, what's her name? Spinel, Shizuru, and Phantasma. Because Spinel gives buffs, makes everybody faster, makes everybody do more damage. And the other 2 girls bring debuffs and other properties as well. It's a very tight synergy, and that composition is really strong in VR too. Most of my characters are focused into ranged, because it's safer to play from ranged in higher end content for the most part, and you just have like a melee debuffer or like or Lapis to do the healing, so she just stays she's more played defensive. Like all the ranged characters are designed from the beginning to just do as much damage as possible, and they don't have to worry too much about health because I'm explicitly controlling them. But either way, I have both at max. But even at max though, there are still ideas you have to think about. Dang it, I thought I could cheat it for the most part and like just use Hellblaze and then have them spawn in and instantly explode. Because like a perfect example of this would be like Astaroth is we can just go to VR because it's I'll show that. Because Ragnarok is primarily ranged, and I'm controlling her so she doesn't get, she can properly do her debuffing and keep an enemy frozen properly. Astaroth stays away from enemies, and she's able to do as much damage as possible this way while not getting attacked at the same time and interrupted. Shizuru is a melee character, but I don't want her dealing a lot of damage, so she's explicitly there with like defensive measures. She actually has the wrong Magatamas on this week. That just shows how easy the boss is when you can still have the wrong mags on them and they still do fine. Like I have a combination of defense and HP boosting, so it gives her like 100,000 health so she can just tank hits. Like even at 100, like at 100, Ragnarok and Astaroth will die instantly from the spin. Shizuru can survive like 3 hits from it. We will show off Mr. Tenkyu later, because it's like that's a fun, that's a cute and funny type of battle. But Threshold Astaroth, we will check that out. Do people like the events with the AI co-op? Those events with the co-op partners are really, really fast. Like they're done they're done almost instantly, because like in wave focused combat, they just come in there and it's like boom, it's instantly over. You don't ever have to worry about it for the most part. Like I'm only over there just trying to help my teammates so it moves smoother. Let's move this. Let's get Merci. Oh, gotta do here. Not enough in-game currency. I'm out of money. 378,000. Oh, that's because I'm doing a bunch of like ascendancy stuff. I was doing that the other day. Where's my money? Dang, we're down to 38,000 bricks. Oh. Let's go back and see Merci one more time, because now we have enough money to use it. It's 500k to do that. It's insane. Let's lock it so we don't chunk her up as our supporter. Since we don't have heavy Sheikah, we gotta do it the old-fashioned way. Because these AI events take really great advantage of the fact that it's like, okay, they have nothing like special going on. There's no crazy debuffs or anything. They're just designed to instantly kill opponents. I don't know if this is like a new thing or something, but like them warping onto your location is like really nice. It's a very specific thing, but it's also like it's really good, because they don't have to walk over to you, so it just makes it like awesome. They can actually get in the fight, and they can end. This can end that much faster. Here's the thing though, with like I would like them to have them more often too. There'd be, but the thing is, it's the characters who are in like the other 2 slots, they don't get any skill points, they don't get any EXP or anything like that. If they were able to get that from these kind of events, they would be the best things in the game to farm skill points. Like there would be no question about it, because it's literally 3 at once. You'd be doing 11 missions at once with 3 characters, and it's like, that's 2376, so that's what is it? Like 7,000 something like 7,200 EXP skill points each run with across 3 characters. Well, that's total with 3 characters. Like, that's great. Events in general are like the best place to farm skill points. Like they are undoubtedly the best because it's the single most cost efficient way to farm. You get, because each run gets you skill points, it gets you EXP, it gets you gold, it gets you items, like just regular farm items, and it gets you the tickets and skill points. There is like no other better way to do it. Yeah, it would break their AP system because that would be too good. That, or they don't have a way to, they don't really know the way to implement it correctly. Because they've certainly found ways to like implement like cool features into the game, but they had to try them out a couple of times first. And once again, Miss Astaroth is going to be hitting 50,000 skill points. Because I remember like that, I think like we were using Astaroth, I think one time to like, because we needed to, oh no, we were farming stages with using Astaroth because she has quick clears. So it's like, we're going to use her. And then she had like, I managed to max out like a couple of her stats because of it. No, I maxed out the damage one. The fact that you can actually place down 6 characters in the private room area is like fantastic. Though I wish we were able to have some sort of a way to like use weapons in the private room. That would be honestly like a really nice improvement. They've done actually so much for the private room in this last year. I'm really proud of them for that. Because now it has gone from like one of the most annoying things to use to actually being like really fun. It needed the refinement of control for your characters and how to place things. It just needed that so badly. It just feels so limited doing it. 8,000. Okay. I mean, you can still do just fine with all the melee characters in the first place. Because the range characters typically don't bring a lot of like, because I'm trying to like remember right now what range characters typically have like a lot of debuff potential. And like the most pertinent example is like not Shizuru. Shizuru is like one of the best options for melee of that stuff. But for ranged, it's got to be a Phantasma. Phantasma does it like perfectly. Does it perfectly. She has both melee and ranged options. Really great all-rounder. And even better when you get to use her with Shizuru. Like, they're so strong together. I get you though, Grits. It's like, actually getting it in a gameplay setting would be very nice. Because like, even with everybody's, everybody's doing all their Doom posting, it's like, oh my god, I cannot believe what I'm seeing. It's terrible, I hate it. It's like, I think the game is actually doing quite fine for itself. Damn it. Oh, girls, you're killing them too fast. I can't place down the traps. Like Tenkyu 2 is a really good example. Like one I didn't mention about Tenkyu is that he is not immune to debuffs. Like he has like some of the highest HP in the game. Like he's an HP tank. So you need to bring a lot of debuff down with him. He doesn't do anything that augments debuff duration like the Spider Queen or Edwin does. So you can just go in there and just go totally ham and just like lock him down. But he has the purge to keep things, you know, keep you honest. But the thing is, it's like, since he's not speed immune, you can also use characters like Murasaki for tentacle anchor chaining. You can use Asagi's wonderful, you can use the wonderful Kojinka, the greatest problem solver since literally day one. My favorite skill in the game. You mean you go over there and you call fucking Kojinka the goddamn, like, you're playing against a boss that's a Great Recession over there. You call you got a Kojinka, that's cash for clunkers. It is the economics recovery plan for you. It is there to save the day. It's a bailout. That's it. It's a massive bailout skill. And you can chain it too. And the thing is, Asagi is also like so insanely strong too. Like one of the game's strongest characters in the first place. Like if like this is a very good character to like let her just go totally loose on. Not a good boss for it. Because the enemies themselves are like very slow, they're weak. And like the ads he summons, they're not like Lena, where she's like extremely bulky and has half the health of the entire boss. Which is like a nightmare and a half to say the least. Which is which is what makes Ingrid so, like the Worm Knight battle so very annoying. Is because you have to satisfy the condition of killing Lena first, and then you can actually start injuring Ingrid. Well, you can already injure Ingrid. You can't meaningfully injure her unless you've got Lena gone. And then Lena has a fucking attack and defense buff too. So it's just like, it's a lose-lose situation. And and don't even get me started on that fucking flame pillar she does. Like, she can stop that. Because, like, that's a fight where it's like, as soon as something starts going wrong in any capacity, it's over. Like, the girls, like, they start running towards the, running into the flame pillars, or they'll get caught up in the attack, or their cooldowns will get extended. You know, it's just like, just one thing leads into another, and it's just like, it's like, it's gonna like, oh, give me that ibuprofen, I have a headache, because I've been beating my head against the wall trying to beat up the Worm Knight. Because it's not that, like, Ingrid can't be debuffed either. She just has that really hard... She has the hard stipulation of being debuff immune until Lena's gone. As much as I don't like having to go kill Lena, it's like I have to do it. It would be a much more manageable fight if we didn't have to deal with the Hellfire debuff. Because, like... unlimited stacking of attack down to where you're doing like barely 100 damage to the opponent is like, man, that's a fight that shows the limitation of the game in the first place. It's like, we need a little bit more control to really not get totally screwed during those fights, because it's like something as erratic and dangerous as Ingrid, you really want to hold them down as long as possible. But thanks to her being debuff immune until Lena dies, it just makes it so much harder. But it's part of the challenge, though. It's not like it can't be done. give you some more HP, Astaroth. What did that cost? 250,000? Oh yeah, that's money well spent, baby. How many of those tickets do we have? 12.8. All right, we need 6,000 more. Let's see. Oh, this is perfect because this week is also they released They released Ragnarok for gems. Did you guys go over there and pick yourself up Miss Ragnarok, the icy hot mother of the year? She certainly knows what she's doing. That's a sick ass character to say the least. That's a character that's fun to play. It shook up VR. It shook up compositions and brings something unique to the table. It's not so much like Azusa, where it's like she is the ore farming character to the extreme, but she's very generic and did not bring anything that shook up the game itself. Not from but it's like, I bet that in the future though, Azusa will find a home somewhere, and then she's gonna be like the best thing ever for it. I'm just glad we now have a character that doesn't, that shares with Rinko and is not exactly terrible. Rinko does not deserve to be as bad as she actually is. She's just very slow and cumbersome. I mean, I understand she's got to haul around those like the big mill tanks in the front. And she's making a moo special delivery. But the thing is, it's like, does she really have to be such a chore to play? Because honestly, like the most redeeming skill she has is Wind Slice. And even then, it's like she requires a limited weapon to be useful, and it's like, no, that shouldn't be a thing. The character should just be like fine in the first place without the weapon. The weapon should supplement something and make them stronger, and make an aspect about them better. That's typically what they've done in like future packages, because it's like, what is it? Rinko feels like Francis, where it's like Rinko's like started out very strong. She was actually so strong that she's one of the few characters that actually has been nerfed in the game. So it's like, then you have because what is it? Shosu is like, it gives her skill damage and makes her strongest skill cast twice. It was Supernova before Supernova. No, it was Undying Apocalypse before it, which is like, no, it's like the single strongest weapon in the game because it's a double cast of like that attack. It's just like honestly insane to think about. Which is why it was such a massive downer when Francis has the same fate in the fact that she has she started off poor, did not get better until you get Revolving Bat. Revolving Bat literally solves her entire problem of how she's supposed to play, and then it's just like, all right, that's the long and the short of it. You get Revolving Bat, you literally do 3 times damage on each one of your strikes. Like, I'm not even kidding. I've seen her do stuff like 400, 500,000 damage normal attacks, just for the fucking fun of it. It's not even like a critting situation. She just hits that hard when she's in the pure tipsy mode with Revolving Bat. The supporter is actually really nice too, but even then, it's like the bat is what solves it. It's what it should have been in the first place. That's why I was so I was very disappointed to find out it's like they're really pushing the packages harder and harder now, because what is it? Ragnarok has she has Lavatane, which is her specific pack, or is her character, her lore specific weapon that she uses all the time. That you pay $45 for that for the character, and you go do that, and it gives her like her best in the best in slot weapon because it makes freeze. It just freezes better, and it gives her penetration. It's specifically designed for climbing. Like, you don't even need it at like high skill levels either. You just get it like even a 1-5 copy is actually so insanely devastating that you don't even need to worry about like Demonite. And even then, you get more Demonite with it. It's just like, it's fucking awesome. I don't want that idea to be perpetuated. That they're gonna keep doing it. I can feel it already. Like the next character that's gonna release in April. Because if you can already believe it, March is going to be next week. Well, the last day of the month I think is this Friday. It's like, goodness gracious, it's a long ways away. So we'll have a character for April. It makes me wonder, who are they going to have for April's character? Because it's certainly a tough act to follow when you have to deal with Astaroth, Ragnarok of all characters, who manages to actually shake up the way, just shake up the entire game in the first place, instead of having a mediocre, not a mediocre, but a very underwhelming opening. Well, the thing is, though, it's like we already have the Micah. We have the wonder. I have a wonderful video about Micah that I made many years ago, and it's a perfect snapshot of how she is as a character and how she has been for the longest time. It was one of my most favorite videos to make, and it's like, I don't want to use her because like that basic attack is so poor, but then you just use her regular skills. And like she feels so fluid until you have to start doing until you start waiting. It's like, this renewal is gonna be a very anticipated one for sure. I want to see what they're gonna do with it. I really do. It's such a very, very important thing that Micah actually gets a meaningful renewal. Because like, this is a character I do like. I like her a lot. She's been the mainstay of my VR machine team for like since we've had LWS squad, because she's been so perfect for it. Because Micah's we all know this. Her Taimanin, her basic attack string is terrible. It's really, really bad. But you know what it's really good at? It's good at holding her. It's good at holding Micah still. I want her to stay still so I can get my controlled character to go up to the enemy and take all the attention away from Micah so she can keep doing damage and using skills. That's it. That's all I need her to do. I've been shot. Like, I would have, you know what? If they may probably redoing her Taimanin arts or something, because it's like they should either redo her Taimanin arts or integrate them into her regular just basic string. Like, just make it like Astaroth, where it's like you have Micah hold still, and then she just keeps shooting bullets from her location, and she just turns to reface the enemy and shoot at them. Because her projectiles need to be way, way faster. The animations need to be faster. The projectile needs to be faster because there's so many times where enemies just walk away from them. Like, how can you do that? Do you think they will go back to older characters and add leader skills to them to keep them in line with power creep? They will do that. That's something that's like, we have now come to expect these passives from new characters and renewals. So when they don't happen, it's kind of annoying because it makes it feel like they don't care about the character. But here's the thing though, Astaroth doesn't have a leader skill. She's also one of the oldest characters in the game too. Like, she is a literally like year 1, year 2 character, and she's maintained relevancy literally to this day. She's that strong. She does not need one. But characters like Asagi, Sakura, and Yukikaze, they need them. They need them really, really badly. Let's take a good look. How many do we have? 20k? Perfect. Before we go in there, let's take a look. Like Miss Asiago. She does not have one. She will probably never have one for the next year, because she is the first character to ever get a renewal. So guess what that means? They did not anticipate these sort of things in the first place. So, because the first character to ever get the passive is Spinel. And Spinel's is obviously the peak of these things. It's very simple to activate, simple to maintain, simple to use. All the other ones are they give a weird caveat or something. What could Asagi get? I would think she would probably get a speed boost passive. That would be really nice. Sakura definitely needs one. Kiara needs one. In fact, I don't know, I have a little bit of a running theory in the aspect of Frost Phantom should have been may have been more or less what Kiara should have had in the first place, but they gave this to her mom. They will do that. They will have a renewal for in the future. There's no doubt about it. Because it's where's Shizuru? Shizuru's is the most recent one, and you can tell they've gotten really good at making these, because this is great. This is a really, really this is mostly thought out, because it relies on you switching characters, and it gives very, very good aspects. It synergizes with her skills. It synergizes with her unique debuff, and it gives her, and it's thematically important. It coincides with her unique debuff, and it gives several very important aspects on activation. This is really good. This is when I saw this appear and I read the whole thing, I'm that's good. That's it almost feels like they contracted this stuff out, because it's way, way too specific. It's really good, and it's it fits the character, which is what some of them kind of miss. For Spinel's is fine. That's pretty on brand for her. Kurenai's Wind Scar, that works for her. Where is Kiara? Sadly does not have one. Azusa is I hate to say this, she is going to get forgotten within the next 4 months. She's going to get her package, and we're going to see what that makes in terms of a change for her. But it's critical hit rate by 20%. Oh man, 20% crit rate boost. Yeah. But it's thematically important, though, because it coincides with Kurenai's. I wish this was a team critical hit rate, which would be real nice. That would be good. Because then you could use that with Kurenai. I hope Sora gets a renewal this year. She really needs... She needs her skills improved, and I want to see her get a cool passive. Because this is a character that... she's strong. She's a sleeper, good character, because everybody wrote her off. I've said this before, though. They've managed to actually add in... they've taken off skills and added skills to characters. They can certainly do it. I gotta get a drink. Now the thing is with like renewals, they typically like to reserve the whole month for that sort of thing. That's fine. But what I'm on, I consider that with, like, they have to pay the leader skill with ads to something else going on. Otherwise, that would be a boring month. So, whenever they do a renewal for a character, they tend to have a package for them that gives a demonite, a weapon, and I think like some other rewards. The only way I could see that making sense is that they add in, if they're gonna have those passives in there for the leader skill, make it so that they put that in the game with a limited package. It's a very weird decision, but it makes a lot of sense. Like, say, Asagi over here is going to get a new package. Fisherman Asagi. She's riding on the Pequod. She's Captain Ahab. There we go. Captain Ahab Asagi is going to be joining us on November 25th. Get ready, commanders. She's going to be bringing herself a new passive skill. And then she's going to be, that is permanently added into the game. But you don't have to buy it, though. Because at the same time, you can do that with her Captain Ahab outfit. Like, it would be something like that. Because it would be a really great way to add in the passive for the character. And then you could also promote a limited package at the same time. There's no need for you to pay for the passive. You buy the package, though, to get the costume. Because that way it makes them money. Because it'll make them money. And it'll also allow them a ploy to put in the leader skill in the first place. And they could have 2 more packages for Yukikaze and and Sakura, because they would be the first 3 to get this, no doubt about it. Now my question is, are they going to give a leader skill to Micah? Are they going to really do it? Because why do they have to break the pattern with Kiara? What was so different about her that she's like, all right, we're just not going to give her a passive? It's just so weird. Like, we've just come to expect the passive, and it's like, all right, well, there you go. Because she certainly could have really used that. Oh, Jeff, did you mention Persona right there? I remember when Persona 5 came out on the first time around, when they released for PS3. I remember I was working in landscaping at that time, because I was like, all right, I'm going to go do that. And it's like, maybe I could use the money I get from landscaping to go buy Persona 5. Because I had bought a PS4, because I think it had, the dual release of PS3 and PS4. I did that, and when that happened, I was like, I just totally forgot about it. In fact, for the most part, I have forgotten about Persona 5 for the longest time. I should honestly go play it at some point, because I really do enjoy the Persona series a lot. They're very fun. Her renewal was supposed to drop before leader skills, and they just procrastinated it until now. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me that they, waited such a long time for these sort of things. Because it's like, she should have really had that a long time ago. Because, guess what, everybody? Ingrid also does not have a leader skill. She released at the same time as Kiara, too. So what does that mean? People aren't fighting very hard for these in the first place. It says a lot. Because it's like because Kiara is inherently a character who does not do very well in the first place. She has a rough time in many aspects. Sure, she can inflict freeze, but now we have a character that inflicts freeze way better and can do it much more efficiently than her. So Kiara gets left in the dust again. And Kiara got a renewal weapon, but it didn't even do that much for her. When Ingrid got her renewal weapon, that's Ignis. Ignis changed the entire game for Ingrid and made her go from melees and crits and everything like that to spell sword user, which is honestly like it's that groundbreaking for her. That the fact that that weapon exists overshadowed the fact that she does not have a leader skill. Which, when you start thinking about how Ignis works, that may have been the way Ignis works. That probably was supposed to be her leader skill, but they put it into a weapon. Because I think Ignis existed before Spinel got into the game, so that means they probably weren't even thinking about it. Because Kurenai's renewal, like hers was just effectively like a tune-up to say the least. Like it fixed, they just shuffled around a few aspects and let player actions happen earlier and cleaned up her animations. Because Kurenai had like a big skill change, I think like 2-something years before this, which was really important for her. Like it gave her like, you know, it didn't change really anything with her too much until we got she got Wind Scar, and 2 she got Infradead and Ultraviolence. That made such an enormous difference with her. Like it changed the game for her. It's her Ignis. And she managed to go get herself a good old-fashioned passive. I wish they would do that. I sincerely wish they would just like go back and add in these passives for characters. Just make it part of a paid package. Don't pay for the passive. Introduce the passive and also put that in the game. And then you run a limited package costume at the same time. Because it makes money and it makes things happen. It's so simple. But now we can finally talk about the boss. Let's go to 60. Actually, let's go to 40 because we can still crit there. I want her in there. Sakura. And give me Fat Francis over here. So let's go show off what a bad Mama Jamma like her can do. So let's see. I'll put Anrose on here. It's critical rate, because he can still crit for the most part here. Infernal Blaze. Okay, I didn't give her anything. Okay, so this is Tenkyu 2. He's a pretty straightforward fight, because it's just man fighting a giant robot like you would do with anything else. He has the proper metal textures applied too, when you compare it to like something like LWS Squad, and they don't. He's a big boy, and so if you let him like start acting on his own, like right there, he has big overhead swing. It stuns too. Well, he has one that actually does stun. That spin is actually insanely devastating. because like you can interrupt the spin itself, but you can't stop it from finishing. Like once he starts it, it will finish, whether you live or not. And that's the best one right there. He just sits there and just like it's totally hurt. But as you can see, he's a very big, bulky boy. You'll be more in danger of timing out because of just how much HP he has in the first place. Like, he's not very quick. I wish you could see it though, because he's been doing like the overhead swings. I think that's in like phase 2 that he does it, because he has the super tackle, and that I think stuns as well. Oh wait, I put the wrong supporter on this one, because it doesn't do very much since she doesn't have any ads to kill yet. Cool. There it is. He has the charge right there. His hitbox forward is huge though, so he can actually tag multiple people at the same time. But as you can see, if you're not properly set up, you will time out. And he has a spin just like Oboro does. It actually uses the same sort of tracking that she has, but it's like it also, if you get caught in that attack, you're going to take a lot of damage. Like even just right here, we've messed up very poorly and we're almost dead. We're going to timeout actually. We're going to lose. Oh, what's so funny, Astaroth? Because with that, like he certainly has a lot going on there. He's very slow, but hits very hard. So you need to account for that sort of stuff. Like you need to bring defense down. You need to do everything like that in your power to make sure that you stand a fighting chance against this guy, because he's not going to be. He takes no prisoners, to say the least. Killing his ads is also extremely important too. Like you need to get rid of them like as soon as possible, because the little floating drones, they have a laser that stuns for an extremely long time. Like getting hit by it is effectively like, all right, you're just kind of screwed at that point. And since he's like, he can just armor straight through a whole lot of attacks, so it's like he doesn't have a buddy, you better pray you're doing a good job. So that's why you just take flat damage with you, because you can certainly get the crit from somewhere else. Because we're primarily doing damage with skills, so we'll do that. I'm telling you, Wally, he hit the gym. He got swole. He was ready to kick some ass, and he did. Because he has, you know, like we saw that in a perfect example. He has phase 1 spin where he just sits still and does his spin like twice, and that's about it. In phase 2, the spin chases you and is what usually is going to kill off your entire team in the first place. It's really painful to deal with. There he goes. Oh no, it's the missiles. That's just kill 'em all missiles. Come here. Come here. Bro's got a hitbox the size of fucking planet Earth on this one. So we gotta account for that. Don't stun me, please. Boy, am I happy that missed. Because that's his big funny, that's the big funny stun laser that does like, it does no damage, but also just like ruins your day. Because it's like the fighting little squid guys with Queen Kanaloa, and they do like, the fucking squid missile just comes in there and just ruins the whole run. We're probably gonna time out again. There it is. Get away from me, you freak! Yeah, we're gonna time out. We're not gonna win. Oh, that's a shame. I wanted to try it with that weapon. We have a better weapon for this, though. This is your time, everybody. You know what we're gonna use? We're gonna use Hexagram. It's 80% more racial damage. Who needs Undying Apocalypse when you have the thing that does 80% more? Because you see that, there you go. Astaroth obviously will win over time. That's what the whole point of the clock is for. My plus 13 hexagram, so I can go beat up machines. Because it certainly does a hell of a lot better than in terms of, like, using that shit. It probably also didn't help the fact that we had damage down in the first place. But this has been a very good way to show off what the boss does. You also get to see the shortcomings of Astaroth in like a solo setting, in that she can't really inflict defense down if you're using certain colors. So you have to actually like account for this sort of thing. That's why she's so much stronger in a team setting. Like when you can bring someone like, I don't know, Shizuru or Phantasma, and they can just debuff the enemy, good old Astaroth gets to be at her absolute best and be the girl boss we know her as. Wait, that was a lot better. That took 50 seconds. Wow, who would have thought using an SR weapon that was tailor-made for situations like this and enchanted would actually prove to be useful. Like Wally over here, he's a slow guy. He doesn't do too much in terms of like, you know, being crazy. That is until he gets out the spin and then just goes in there to ruin our day. Dude, I was literally in front of you. How do you miss swinging at me? Am I doing enough damage to actually win? Yeah, I'll probably have enough. We're not getting hit with attack downs. Oh, there's the stun. There's the funny stun. Ooh, I almost walked into that one. Come on, baby, let's go. Let's go, baby. Fantastic. There you go. See what a difference it makes when you use proper gearing? And you get to use the thing that's, oh, you do more damage against machines? Good, that does a lot more damage. That's more profitable than something that's not. 12 seconds to spare. It also helps that she's massively over-geared for the situation. But that just goes to show. Look, did you see that? He's immensely tanky. Like, if you're not properly set up for the situation, he's going to... The fight isn't that hard. The biggest challenge here is beating the clock. Like, that's what the problem ends up lying into. Because look at this. We're 248. We had to go use the proper machine item for it. Because it's like... We're also level 42, level 40, where criticals just don't really appear for the most part. Because, like, this is 32 million. So, well, this is probably also skewed because, for one, we have to deal with the fact that there's two... no, there's ads that he spawns in the first place. So when that happens, it's like it causes a bit of a problem. But it's a nice, simple fight. Like, you can, obviously, you can kite him the entire time, like we did with Astaroth, and she has no problem. Then, obviously, when you take it to a correct team setting, it's a little bit different. Like, we'll go to 100. We'll use what I've been using. You'll use what I used for this mission. So it's obviously Undying Apocalypse, Icy Hot Mom, and Super Shizzy. Because we already understand... let me get Ragnarok here. So for the most part, we understand the situation. Yeah, we'll say it like this. So the problem with him is that he is extremely tanky. Your enemy, if like alone or if you're under geared, your characters will most likely lose the match because not because of you dying, because that just probably won't happen because look how slow he is in the first place. You can dodge just about everything. You have to not be paying attention to, or just being complacent to get hurt a lot. So what you'd have to do is like you have to account for the fact that he is so insanely bulky that you have to bring defense down. So we get that with Miss Shizuru. Because Shizuru over here, all I need her to do is just defense down, defense down, defense down. Like it's a 20% off, another 20% off. They sadly, this is just a duration refresh between Whip Shot and Rose Rondo. Whip Grip is the only one that adds a secondary source. Let's put back on all the good stuff. Soul Train, Soul Train, Soul Train. Where are you? Because I need a Mane, everybody's favorite machine that's not in the game yet. We need her in, Grem. Put her in. Okay, she's asking to be tagged in right as we speak. It's like, put me in, coach. I'm ready. I'm ready. I can show the world. I'm going to be the best machine that you've ever seen. I'm going to be the machine that everybody takes to everything now, besides Shisui and everything else. I can do it, coach. I can do it. See, my question is now, like, do I want to take Koharu because she does more? It's like, is there like a better damage source for that? For demons at least? Oh. I'm being stupid. We do this. I'm like, there's gotta be a better damage source. Oh. No, we did that for we don't need that one because she doesn't use it. Demons. We'll get more out of that in the first place. I was thinking about that the other day. Do that. Make sure everything's there. Yeah. Okay. So now I'll show off what it means to make it work for this. This isn't also without its share of problems too. You have to pay attention just a little bit. Mr. Scary, there he is. He's gonna activate something. He's activating something. As you can see, the gameplay is very engaging when you have full lockdown setups. Like, you have to pay attention just a little bit. If Felicia becomes the next renewal, will she get a leader skill, or will her existing skills get buffed? I hope she gets both, because her sister got both. And obviously, we know how that turned out for Kurenai. Like, life got way better for Miss Chocolate Fiend over there. Oh, here's a really cool attribute about this boss, is that there's I don't think there's any other boss in the game where it has this boss does not have a death animation or like a kneeling pose or something that it has to take in between attacks. So whenever it goes from like phase 1 to phase 2, the boss instantly disappears. Like, it doesn't, because it doesn't have a death animation. So what that means, like, it makes this fight like extremely fast. We can't skip this scene though, where he's like, you know, tumbling down and everything like that. So it's effectively a time loss. But the fact that it's not like where it's like Ingrid, where you have to wait the 4 to 5 seconds for her death animation to complete. No, you just like it instantly finishes. And that's how amazing and engaging it is to play Ragnarok. You freeze the enemy, you freeze them some more, while the rest of your team beats them up. They have comparable damage to Astaroth, so the strength is there. It's there you have it. That's the Ragnarok experience. That's what it looks like when you go play it with her. But Felicia, in terms of that, her skills, like, they certainly could do with the buff. Like, for right now, most people end up using her as a debuff extender for, like, disarmament strategies. So it's like, she's good at that. Because, like, what does she have? Like, what could her, what would her leader skill be in the first place? Because it would have to be something that really, like, it fits her vampirism theme. The funny girl, you know, like the funny vamp that like from Tsukihime. Let's go over some of her skills to see what they could do to buff this. Seven Hells is a similar situation to Kurenai and other characters who have like an aerial rave. This is a better one because it brings the character down and you just like you hold the button. You don't have the weird input or anything like that. And the hitbox for this is like huge. I remember when I did the video for this, I showed it off and it's like I know I didn't like the skill, but I like the fact that it's so huge and it can hit grounded enemies and large enemies too. Really nice. It was a nice skill, but it's like I'm not taking this in any situation. Evil Strange. This could do with a. Well, that's already what her New Year's package does in the first place, which is to increase the range of Evil Strange, because she has that dead zone in front of her that you can literally miss at like point blank range, which is just like it just rips. It just. Oof, I hate it. I hate it that you can actually just miss at point blank range, and like you really want to use this like as close as possible too, but you can't do that. They would probably do something to where they change the particles to something else. They keep marking your enemies with blood and this. So something would change here with particles, because like particle generation is a thing that's just like it's a thing of the past. Like Felicia would obviously, if you're doing particle generation, you're using there it is. It's Vampire's Blood, her speed art, because it just hits so many times. I remember doing I remember there was a stream a long time ago when we were using Felicia, and I was showing off like we're gonna do a time attack mission, and I think I managed to get like 9 ultimates off because we specifically went for a particle build with Felicia. The mission time took like 90 seconds or something, but in reality it took like 5 minutes because we just kept doing ults and not skipping them, because it was just to exaggerate the point. Vampiric Zone is this would probably I would like this to get buffed, because this is a really, really good heal. And it's like, this is, for the longest time, this was our only method of team healing, and it's a really, really good one. It's just that Felicia, in order to activate it, 1, she needs to get an extreme dodge off, and 2, she it only the explosion for when she does the blood burst, it only activates on her last location, not on her person. So you're just going to miss. It should affect, instead of like marks nearby, I'd like it to be marks all enemies with blood, so that it's like she can get it off of a bullet, she can get it off of like a range situation, because she's going to be close to enemies. That's the point. It's like, it's just, he needs to come off of her person, not where not where the dodge was located. That just feels like a little bit of an oversight from a long time ago that they never bothered to fix. Because it's a good skill. Like, I want more of a, like, Kurenai doesn't explicitly lean into the fact that she is a vampire, but it's like Felicia does. If they're going to make her like Little Miss Vampire, the funny vamp, we'll do something with it. I want to see them like take it. I want to see them do a Shizuru level passive where it's it's detailed, on theme, and actually has a specific benefit without having to get a weapon to do it that is specifically for it. Like, her renewal weapon could obviously change the total game for her, and like make her in like the next healer that everybody uses. Because Lapis does a very, very good job, and she's super bulky too. Felicia is also bulky. She doesn't look like it, but she is. But it's like Felicia needs that little bit more, because she was good until she got replaced. Because Blood Scythe, this skill needs faster recovery, 100%. It's terrible. It's a really good way to recover health, but it's also, I just can't do it. It's like she jumps in. It's like it needs to be like a fast slash. It already is in the first, from what I remember. Like it's really quick. Oops. It's a really quick slash in the first place, but then it's like you have the additional hit that kind of throws it off. It just needs a little quicker there, Felicia. It needs to be a little quicker, and they need to give player action back about halfway through this part of the animation. It just needs that, because 5% of damage, not damage taken, it's 5% of damage dealt. I don't know. I would rather not have particle charge turn into damage, because then it would make it like her best skill. It's already like good in most situations, but it's like instead of particles, I guess what does blue want? Make it a defense buff. Perfect. Instead of recharge particles, give it like a 20% defense buff, so it makes Felicia tanking easier. This is it's 30% of C16. 16 minus. Yeah, that's perfect. Make it a 20% defense up for 10 seconds. And the cooldown's 11.2 seconds. It's almost perpetual. Perfect. That would just be like, because Felicia just wants, like in blue, she wants to be a brick wall. So just do that. Like that like the additional hit is like, you don't ever want to use this in blue, because she heals and does damage with Evil Strange. It's specifically meant for the team. Like, you use it in blue, and it has like the explosion actually is the attack range. It just make this all enemies get hit by it for 6 seconds. I would really like them to reduce the cooldown for this a lot more, because it's like, what is it, 9 seconds. It makes it half off, so it's like it aligns closer. What's 18? What's 1/3 of 18? That's, I think, 6 seconds. That's to the power of 10. 12.6. So because you have it in green, it makes it a 9 seconds, and that's at a 12.6 when you have full skill level. So it's more skill buff than a leader skill. Because like they do both when they do the renewals. They do skill tweaks and also the passive. Because right now I'm looking at like, what do all our skills do and how could they be improved in the first place? That, or they could just turn blood marks into something else, like make it the passive in the first place. Who knows? It's like we already have, like, maybe it's like a turn into like a mind control situation where you can make enemies turn against each other. That'd be fun. Vampire's Blood, this is fine. It's like it's the best thing for her. Shadow Blades 2 is pretty good. These don't need to change. Rending Scythe is like, it's nice because the activation window for this is like forever and a day. Like you'll almost be getting ready to dodge again and then activate it. So like this, like honestly, this is fine. It's like, it gives her a tanking buff and it happens all the time. Tracks the enemy, that's good. I wish it's like, I give a debuff. No, then it would just conflict with Slaying Spree. Because Slaying Spree is like, it's like her premier thing to perpetually slow down an enemy. Because like she'd be really good for something like Tenkyu too, because of a 30% defense debuff, and it's like it lasts longer than the ability for him to clear his debuffs. And then she throws 2 more of them, slows the whole group. Great crowd control skill, and it has the 150 modifier too. So it's like she doesn't have much to worry about with like this skill. It doesn't need to change that much. This is terrible. They probably won't even touch this for the most part, because usually like they don't bother with the counterattacks because everybody knows that they're not that good. Like every time I see one of like they give a character a counterattack, it's like it's just like it's total filler. Like they sometimes they cook with the characters and they give us meaningful skill in all 10 slots. Then they have like counterattack skills and it's like you did you need some help there, buddy? Did you need some help with some thinking? Like the first and the last skill, it's like aerial rave and counterattack. What else could you ask for? They've gotten better without these. What would a leader's skill consist of for Felicia then? Because I'd say for Felicia, she's typically like, she's fast. She applies a lot of debuffs. She also has the team healing aspect, but that's an auxiliary benefit of the blood marks from the way it works. She doesn't have anything that benefits from particle charge either. Sanguine Smash needs to apply blood marks as a baseline ability to be even considered. Yes. That's something they would probably change it to. It's like, this would actually then fit perfectly. Like if it applies to blood marks, because this would make it work, because defense of the enemy defense down for 10 seconds. So, and then attack down for 10 seconds. Then that's rounded out, and we'll have apply blood marks to enemies hit for 10 seconds. Just like round it out, and it actually makes it something worth taking, because in blue, she'll just be like a full tanking setup at that point. She'll be there to explicitly as a heal bot. Instead of having to rely, so it would be the full assault opposite of Lapis, where Lapis is designed to live a long time, and Lapis will live a long time. She's stacked up with health, like she has a field heal, she has a damage dealt 2 heal, and then she has that passive that just really just sends it over the edge. With whenever she heals, she gives 50% of the value to the rest of the team. But that's all based around so much of Lapis's setup. So we'd have something like this, where with blood marks, since it's based off of damage dealt, and damage dealt isn't really so much super high in as you climb in VR. Well, damage does get pretty high, so it would be really worth it. It will be much more worth it than it is now. because there's another thing about these is like she gets caught in animations like all day. Like Evil Strange obviously is like she has to finish this. She has to do that animation before she can act again, which means she can get knocked out of this animation really easily. Seven Hells, the same thing. It needs to be faster. Blood Scythe needs more speed. It also needs an AoE increase because I know I've missed many times using the skill. These don't need to change. Orochi Nagi actually doesn't need to do anything with this. It already has so much range. It's very quick too. It's a high risk, high reward, which is what it's designed to do. This is fine. But Felicia's all about speed control because she has so many skills that that have something to do with an enemy's speed. So she is she would probably find a home in a composition with like whoever your main DPS is. Let's say it's Astaroth, and Phantasma would deal defense down. And then we'd have Felicia with CC speed, which would be great because Slaying Spree is like the best thing in the world for like controlling speed. She throws it backwards. Felicia throws it back for everybody. She's really good at that. And it's super nice for that. The rest of these, though, not so much. Like, she has to be in close to do anything. So, and that means she's going to get hit a lot. So that would actually make the counterattack worthwhile if you're trying to build her as a tank, then leads back into the applies blood marks. So I would think like if she's going to have some sort of a passive, I want it to be revolving around blood marks because she does that so well already. So instead, let's make it to where it's like, because Shizuru's like she applies her unique debuff on just about every skill. So I would almost say like you could tweak the cooldowns on some of these skills and have it so that she could apply blood marks to enemies regardless of like what the skill is or something. Because it's just like it just needs that little bit more. Like everybody, like we have Koyuki at home. Well, actually, but she came before Koyuki. Oh, that'd be a cool idea. Have Felicia and Koyuki interacting because they're both pink-haired gremlins, 2 franchises apart. I digress, though. I would love to see Felicia get a massive, groundbreaking renewal that makes everybody like go, huh? Felicia, she's good? Felicia's been great. Felicia's a real good girl. She's awesome. Literally one of the game's most solid characters until the fattest pair of tits came to town and stole her job. But Felicia certainly still has a place with speed control, which is devastating on its own. She's one of the characters where it's like Felicia and Sora, they absolutely need it, and I want them to get something like so good everybody has to now consider them to some point. It's getting personal. I want to see him succeed. Let's try that though. Let's go good old Felicia. Try her out here. Try her on a round 40 situation. And she certainly can take the heat. I wonder if she's like, all right, I'm gonna put her out there, see what happens with her gear. Let's do that. Take it off of her. Well, I have all the wrong Magatamas equipped to Astaroth. And she's still doing that much damage. Scythe of the Deity Suyugiri. Demonolysis. You ungrateful humans. Let's do speed control, Felicia. Because I've been talking about it so much. There it is. Hoshina Mitsuki. Now I have two of her. There she is. Tengen Misaki. She's a monster, that's to say the least. Because that's the big thing with this mission too, is that she's fighting bulky people. She needs all the help she can get. Oh, Eclipse Meld. Do tons of damage instantly. She's the demon. It's like, we'll just take it off of her. That'll be perfect. It'll stop the clock. There's Praying Spree. We'll get Blood Scythe to heal. Even then, you could probably just take out Vampiric Zone. Well, actually, no. She needs to have a... No, she has that in the first place. We'll try Vampiric Zone, because typically she should need, like, multiple skills to keep consistently dealing damage. Okay, she doesn't have damage down. Look at that, baby girl's working real hard. Can he actually be slowed? I want to make sure of that. Okay, he can. Ah! Oh, Jesus! See, that's what I'm talking about. It's like the enemy is so huge, and it's like you get around them in the first place. It's like that's awesome. In fact, it's like it doesn't work because it's like awesome, great. It activated at the wrong time I wanted to activate. Look how close she was too in the first place against him. Perfect. See? She makes the boss act slower. She makes everybody take less hits. She had no problems with this fight. It also helps to consider that she has her fun Magatamas equipped, and she did it in 90 seconds. She wasn't worried about anything at all. You could probably take this to 60 and she'll do the same thing. But that's the fall of where Blood Marks is, because it's like I'm literally right there next to the boss. Like I'm no more than probably like not even 5 meters away, and I'm still not able to apply that to him. It really sucks. Look at that. I gotta be inside of his hitbox. I gotta be fucking sucking his dick at this point just to make any sort of like ends meet with this debuff. There's where the problem with Felicia then lies. It's like we're not doing enough damage to him. It doesn't really help that he had the HP boost buff. Like we'll time out on phase 1 of all things. Look how close. I was right there inside of his freaking hitbox. Oh, there it is. It activated. I'm like, no way. No way. Because it looks like a good old Miss Felicia needs a favorable condition in order to get anything out of this. Which kind of sucks. It took 1 minute, took 2 minutes and 15 seconds to get out of phase 1. That sucks. It's honestly crazy to think about how we just went up 20 floors and now her damage is decreased by 50%. Yep. All right, that closed it out on her story. That's a sad state of affairs. I almost want to try that again to see if we can. Yeah, she did. Look at that. She did 25 million damage, and it was obviously not enough. We'll try it one more time because it's like when she's fighting, it's like she can obviously get the boost from her supporter, but it's also like she's an assist character. It didn't do much for her in the first place. Her damage is halved, and then she also has... We can take out a Vampiric Zone. We can do more damage. Jeff, how old are you? You can't be that old. If you're like, your favorite games are like StarCraft and Persona, like you can't be no more older than I am. You don't have an issue. Let's see. We don't have an issue with HP. We need a usable skill. Not a whole lot in terms of usability. Kind of really just shows where Felicia's at in terms of building a character. You just have to be Shadowblade. Like it feels like I have to roll for good effects. Well, that's not happening. Her damage is already halved in the first place, and all of it comes from skills, so it won't work out. That won't work. all these unfavorable conditions. Because I already know it's like if she has her attack damage down and then she has like boss HP up, I might as well just forget about trying the fight. Or she'll just time out. This is doable though. Good. This is much more favorable then. But that's what it took. It takes a actually favorable situation for her to make enough of a difference to beat the boss. Thankfully, her particle generation is like through the roof, so she can have this nice buffer time to reset her cooldowns with ultimates and such. That is honestly truly an underrated aspect about like certain characters, is them having high particle charge to create buffer zones. Now this creates like a much larger problem, is that she gets swarmed by enemies and are like defeated by gunfire. Darn, looks like Philly just can't close it out this time. She gets too swarmed up by all the other enemies. And it creates a very tough situation for her. Because I'm certainly not worried about her dying, or at least the enemies being unable to beat her up or anything. Yeah, B, we're testing out whether or not it's like, what are some of Felicia's shortcomings? Like, where could a renewal lead with her? Because, look at this. Like, we're on floor 60. She's all by herself. I'm not worried about her dying. She has more than enough capabilities to heal herself and do anything regarding that. Like, do anything with that. Like, look at that. She's doing all 48 million damage by herself. Recovered all the HP all her HP lost. She was going to be fine if there was enough time. Like, if she had like 5 minutes, she would be able to beat the mission. However, she's losing because she's timing out. So when you lose by a timeout situation, that's not dealing enough damage. And obviously she has she was very good at beating, she's very good at like, what is it? Immobilizing the enemy because of speed control. And also she good single target interaction. Most of her other stuff is with it though, like alone she has trouble fighting. But then when she has Other people, though, they can take the heat off of her and they can handle some of those smaller enemies. So, like right there was a good example like previously where she's with the boss. Oh, excuse me. Like when the boss uses it activates its adds, it'll take less damage from melee attacks, but it brings in adds in the first place. So, and Felicia has a lot of wind up on her attacks, so she is prone to getting interrupted in the first place. So that's why she wants to get off Slaying Spree often, because it gives her a ranged option to start collecting particles. Because that's what I talked about. It's like she needs a way to, it's like Orochinagi and Evil Strange to be able to like deal with all the AoE in the first place, but they also don't do too much damage. The fact that we take Slaying Spree is because of its damage boost, and also its speed control. Because in the first phase, when she didn't have anybody there, she did just fine against the boss. It's the moment that she adds in something a little bit more than... And the moment it stops being a one-on-one is when it stops being mostly feasible for Felicia. Because it's like that was also a round where it did not have assist down or enemy or boss HP up. She didn't have to worry about that, which was fine. She literally would have won if there was more time. But I digress. That's maybe it's a me thing with that one, that we're not dealing enough damage, but it's like it's doable with her. Like we did it on 40, but we were also able to get rid of the adds quickly, because like the faster we get rid of the adds, the less likely they are to start spreading out and start firing the stun lasers, jumping in the air and knocking us out of stuff. It's like this is a good fight. This is like, you need stuff to solve the problems that it creates. And it's not just like, all right, we're going to have big bulky dudes, and then it's just like bulky adds just to like make it annoying. No, they're multifaceted adds too, which is like, because they have the stunning laser drones, they have the gunner, they have the big fist girls that have the mounted position when they fire the guns, and they have the air dunk, and they have the little scuttlebug ones where they walk around, they'll get beside you and then just like shoot you from the side. This is a really good fight. I like this a lot, because it really pushes it. Like if you're trying to play this by yourself, or you get caught in a situation, you get caught out from like, perfect example is the spin, when he does that, the stationary spin or the moving spin. When the enemy gets hit by, when your teammates get hit by that, the AI is very stupid and they're not going to try to dodge out of it, so they're going to die. This is a perfect example to show off just how tanky this boss is, even at lower levels. This is good. This is a good fight. It's multifaceted. It keeps you on your toes, unless you're just flat out flattening the boss at every step of the way. That's why I was so excited to see like what this fight could bring. It's like it's better. It was better than Ingrid. It's better. It's better than Ingrid. Does Felicia have anything? No, she has for demons, not for machines. Like Felicia could certainly do with something like her Sheikah Bane. Like you could actually get some critical rate boosting on there, and actually get something out of it, so she can obviously start getting a whole lot more defense down out of it. Because that would have probably helped her out a lot more, is having some form of defense down with her to help get rid of the adds quicker. Because when I'd use her ult, and it would not be enough to kill them, which is typically what I want the ult to do, is to weaken the enemy as much as possible. But the thing is, by the time I would get rid of the first wave, he'd make another. So it's like, I'm losing the attrition. I need to have ways to even the odds or get ahead. Because this would be nice. Suyugiri is like, it makes more damage for Evil Strange, gives her healing, removes 2 buffs. I'm not so much concerned with the buffs portion, because this isn't like Kanaloa. But it's like, this would be nice for it. because it's an AoE hit. It can charge a lot of particles at the same time. So it's like there's value for it. This is like a maybe. It would make it possible for Felicia. There's probably some dealing I'd have to make it work. I wonder what Shisui can do for this. Because she's very slow. And it's like... What would her AoE do? Oh my goodness. You say how me? I'm fucking Indian. Need her to save the day. Machine versus machine. It's battle bots. Yeah, that's it. We'll have the little battle bot segment. We're gonna see what it looks like when we have someone like two tanks fighting each other. It'll be like what's the thing from that? Sensha Do from Girls in Panzer. Girls in Panzerin. We'll have all the funny supporters too. We'll give her white feather because she can actually get use out of it. The full benefit of it too. And we'll get skill thrill damage. Arrowing Nature's Light. Because in my knowledge, it's like, she doesn't have anything like that. Well, I don't have the ability to do that in the first place. Alright, everybody, it's robot fighting time. Let's get Shisui in there. Show what this ghostly gal can do. Skills down? Alright, let's see how much of a difference that'll make. Because Shisui certainly has the AoE to do this. I'm not concerned with her dying in any capacity. We're already 90 seconds in and we're nowhere near close getting through there. Yeah, we'll end up timing out before anything else happens, which is not good. That's kind of what I would like to avoid. It's certainly robot fighting time and we're losing. We'll get him, Shisesi. Sword of Light. Okay. Well, that's about what I expected. It's like she's very slow. It's another situation like I am not concerned with her dying in any aspect. I'm just concerned if she's gonna do it in enough time. Like she recovered all her health, like 32 million damage. I wonder. Oh, I wonder. Well, since the familiar does melee damage itself, and every time the familiar damage does its no, the familiar does melee. Tenkyu will gets a damage defense buff whenever it summons ads. I can't kill the ads fast enough, not at least with this, because well, Shisui also has like her limited weapon causes a suction effect for enemies when you use Light of Explosion, which would have made it easier to do so on that, but it also doesn't change the fact that it's we're not dealing enough damage. Like we're just getting like she needs this. She needs this supporter in the first place because it makes her familiar stronger for the most part. It has to happen. Like this is fine. This is giving her 42% more damage. And then Fumi Yukino, it's like we're not. Maybe it is something there because it's just so slow. Like Guardian's Flurry would be like actually like the one to use because it focuses specifically on the opponent and it just keeps attacking and the hitbox for this is like really big. Like this is exactly like it. It's another situation where Shisui would not have to be worrying about dying at all. She just gets timed out. We're not dealing enough damage for that. But I'm sure it's like the moment I add in some sort of like defensive maneuver. Like let's try that. So let's put in old Shizzy. And we'll see what happens. Oh, cool, perfect. She even has like attack down, which makes it like way easier. Alright, 2 minutes left on that one, so that's doable. That could have been a little bit faster, but I was messing around. Dude, again with this motherfucker. He is the MVP of this whole match. Alright, we're gonna time out again. But even with the help of like Shizuru and everything, it makes it a lot more feasible. Yeah. So she need the entire composition behind her to really do it, at least for where I'm at with her. Because she's certainly doing all that she can. It's like Shizuru out here. She barely got even down to half health. Sadly, Miss Shissusi could not bring the heat today. I imagine she fares a lot better in lower levels where she won't get timed out. Let's try someone who doesn't have this much of a problem. At least I won't think they will. I know, let's use Micah. I can already tell she's gonna get messed up when she fights uses Moonsault, because the enemy's so tall and it's gonna hit it like right over it. Let's see what Shadowless Kick can do. Let's get a Heat Kick off there, use Shadow. Takeover won't do much for us. At least not right now. Let's use I want to see at least try full green. It's gotta work. It's gotta. Does she have defense down anywhere? No. No, so she'll actually have a bit of a problem with this then. Yeah, that'd be good for it. Because even Hurricane Kick without any sort of like boosts behind it, it's a nice AoE attack, which is what I want. Is there anything for machines in green? Well, most of her stuff is also melee too. I could actually get something out of this. Sasawaki Ichika. Speed reduction. A new. It's 60 seconds. No, we'll keep that one, because even though it doesn't do any damage, it can certainly help us out. Because this is also a fight where melee characters get kind of screwed over really, really hard. And it sucks a lot. Psychic can do it. I know she's got the potential. That's not good though, because we just got skill cooldown mess ups. Oh, that's doing nothing for us. Oh boy, that certainly isn't going to do anything for us. We can't even get out of the first phase with that. That's a sad state of affairs. Like as soon as I saw that, I'm like, that's not good. That's not like doing no damage at all. Yeah, she's a machine. She is. It's like, I want to get one good thing out of this. Oh well. That's enough out of that. That's enough frustration out of that one. Let's go to the inventory. Now the collection section. We're going to go to supporters. And we've got ourselves a new supporter to take a look at today. Let's go to the bathroom though. I know. Before we read a little bedtime story, let's close it out. Let's try one more time. I want to try on 60. Let's see what Ingrid does with this. Hey, this seems like a good place for Spell Sword Ingrid to actually really shine. Because as soon as I hit it off of there, I'm like, it's not gonna work. Like Psycho is doing like tens of damage to this thing. I'm like, okay, no, there is no way that she's going to be doing enough damage to kill that thing. We wouldn't even have gotten out of phase 1 and timed out. So let's give ourselves it's not so much an overwhelming advantage, but enough to where we can actually get ahead in this. She's going to be by herself, so let's get Saya Neo. And Professional Machinist. Let's use a different one for it. I want the classic. I want the Ingrid classic Hell Knight Sword. Flamenco Ingrid. Alright, she even has a deflection down then. Well, I certainly wouldn't have had anything to worry about here with her. Clearing this shit in like freaking 15 seconds. She can't heal, so I have to actually make sure she can clear it herself. Come on, Ingdings, you can do it. No, Ingrid, no, don't die. That was so close. Ah, that's right. Ingrid, good old sustain. Very sad state of affairs for Miss Ingrid. I knew it was kind of written on the wall for me there. I'm like, okay, she got hit by that triple missile barrage. That took a lot out of her. See, I knew it was a good idea to put Cyaneo in the main slot. We'll do it one more time. We can get her. We can get her through this. Boss HP up, but at least she doesn't have the damage down. My man's so slow. We can avoid that. We're doing pretty good here. But now we're in phase 2 where he gets the funny friends. It should be easier, but no, they don't make it easy to say the least. Get Barney and friends to come down here and start whooping some ass. It's like fighting Kanaloa. Turn around, come here. Oh, that was actually a very unexpected. I appreciate that one. Oh no, Ingrid, get out of there. That's the one I wanted. That's the one I needed, in fact. Come on, Ingrid. You got like a solid minute left. You can do this. I'd probably fare a lot better if I got behind the robot and started doing these attacks. Oh, perfect. Good job, Ingrid. I made that a lot harder than it needed to be, but at least she can clear it. Takes an assload of stuff to do it, though. My goodness. I need a hero, and at least I know I can call Miss Ingrid to take him on. That was nice. 59 million damage. Girl is absolutely insane. God, I love our Hell Knight. I love our precious little Hell Knight here. She works so hard to get so little. She's so cool. But let's finish things off right. Because I got that idea in my mind. It's like, we'll read about the supporter. And we're also... It's like, we'll try that with Ingrid. But okay, this is a good old threshold Astaroth. Let's see. Oh, she's getting heated up. She's a demon. The tester of a prototype-powered suit made for the project of reincarnating the powers of a high-ranking demon through science in a UFS research facility. Was in fact the Queen of the Inferno, Astaroth herself. She tested it out to make sure it actually works to her standards. On Redacted Day in UFS facility Redacted, a tester who was scheduled to showcase the state-of-the-art suit AXXR had gone rogue and evaporated said facility. It was known that the suit's control had malfunctioned and the tester's mental health was said problem. Through careful investigation, the original tester was found dead 4 hours before the incident, and considering the evidence and scale of said incident, the suspect is none other than the Queen of the Inferno, Astaroth herself. After the incident, with rumors that mimicking a high-ranking demon brings about their wrath, the project was temporarily shut down. Ooh, we're playing God out here, but now she's stronger than ever. What does this have to say? Oh, scary. She's reaching through the screen. She's gonna rip my head off. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming to showcase our newest product. Today we're introducing a new prototype next-gen power suit currently being developed into this facility. In a briefing room in a USS military facility, in there a few dozen soldiers are wearing uniforms or heavy experimental gear. With 30 of them or so, among us was a female scientist introducing a prototype product through large-scale screens in the room. It was a rare occasion in the UFS or any other military organization that they would showcase a new weapon. Their purpose was to get sponsors to fund their development and make additional upgrades or start said another project. This meant that if they can't get sponsors here, their money's going to run out and the weapons they've been developing will be abandoned or be deployed in an incomplete state. We're near to completion and I can't afford to fail here to get funds. Please refer to the video based on your documents. This is footage of a Japanese Taimanin facing a high-ranking demon Astaroth, Queen of the Inferno. The video on the monitor showed Fuma's team fighting Astaroth filmed through drones and satellites. The Taimanin seemed to win, but Astaroth in the footage was still looking calm. It was obvious she's just messing around. Everyone in the room was also in awe, not because of the Taimanin showing strength beyond humans without any gear, but because Astaroth was showing even greater strength and power, threatening them. This time we didn't focus on reinforcing the soldiers with particles like Taimanins. Instead, we came up with a power suit trying to mimic the destructive powers of a high-ranking demon. Its concept is blasting powerful heat energy and speed that can react to Taimanins. Through this, we can melt demons with high defense or weapons of our enemies, as well as stay in battle for a long time. The scientist's explanation was simple. A weapon that blasts heat energy that matches Astaroth, and a suit strong enough to withstand it combined with the speed that can react to Taimanins. The flames can melt through metal, and using a force field created by the demonic ore inside, it can even mimic Astaroth's huge fireballs. I don't know. You saying that she's got implants or something? The user of the suit is protected by the cooling system equipped on the suit, and there were to be no problems even when blasting that overwhelming heat from a short range. Honda, according to the data we have, the full power of our latest suit is currently similar to Astaroth's Supernova. We are now working on decreasing the size of the cooling system, making it last longer, and fitting it with a firing system that can counter enemies with high speed. When she finished explaining, the monitor changed to a screen with a tester wearing the suit against a cyborg ninja and a cyborg maiden. The opponents are a low-ranking cyborg ninja and a maiden, which have the same speed as a low-ranked Taimanin. See for yourselves if the high-ranking demon's attack abilities and Taimanin's speed can actually coexist. We're starting now. Her last sentence was only delivered to the tester wearing the suit. Gotcha. As the tester answered, the cyborgs deployed on the test field and started moving. Slowly at first, but after a few steps they reached full speed, and it was certain that it matched the speed of a lower-ranked Taimanin. Too slow. But they were too slow for the tester. The cyborgs practically were programmed to show only 70% of their physical capabilities to impress the sponsors with the suit. The tester knew that, so she soon lost interest as they were too slow for her. She turned the power suit on. With the tester's approval, the tight and heavy suit came to life. Ugh. Oh. Ugh. The cyborg ninja swung the ninja blade with speed. The attack was aimed at the most heavily armored part of the suit to prevent damaging the tester, and she was supposed to take it head-on to show the sponsors how strong the suit is. But her body jumped near the ceiling of the test field like a grasshopper and landed behind the cyborgs. The movement was swift without sound or delay, and was certainly more powerful than the original power suits. Don't push its limits too much. We only have that one prototype. It's not a presentation if you don't show off its limits. Oh, what? The scientist was baffled at the tester disobeying her orders. But she wasn't going to shut down the test anytime soon. The cyborgs went after the suit again. Oh, so they're fired up, huh? A performance that transcends their kind, an unpredictable movement. The cyborgs seem to have analyzed that the tester was toying with them, so they increased their speed. Yes, that speed. It's almost as fast as those students. The tester chuckled, comparing them to the young Taimanins she saw before, but still, it was nowhere near the almighty that she knew. She sidestepped to evade the cyborg ninja and maiden's coordinated attacks without jumping. She looked like she was testing the suit's limits by only evading and not striking back. After a few dozen evasions, she finally got the hang of the suit. Now she was evading their blades ever so slightly, leaving space as thin as a paper or a piece of hair. The suit made fiery orbs around it, mimicking Astaroth. It's almost like it's her or something. The orbs, that's satellite flare. The orbs disrupted the suits, then disrupted the cyborgs, charging towards the suit. They hesitated for seconds around the orbs, but staying still wouldn't do for the test. The cyborg ninja attacked at the movement she was turning, and the tester still evaded it. After a few more evasions, the cyborg ninja switched sides, being cautious of the rotating orbs. But then the tester shot out her right arm towards the ninja, and flames shot through the smoke with trails blazing in the air. What's her? The test didn't include a short-range flamethrower, so the ninja stopped in his tracks. It's a little weird because I've only ever seen the word flamethrower spelled as a compound word and not as like two separate things. So it's like, They obviously did read to get the correct syntax and everything else in here. I can tell because I haven't had to do any like mess ups to where I have to reread a sentence again because it doesn't make sense. So that's good. They're doing these a little bit right. That's what I would expect out of a package. However, he was still coated with flames, and in an instant... Okay, well, as soon as I say that, and in an instance of what? I think it's supposed to be, and in an instant, he burned into ashes on the ground. It burned the body of the cyborg and didn't go out even after it was dead. The corpse didn't leave anything behind, alarming the cyborg maiden and making her step backward. Wow, she just flat out kills the guy. She held out both of her hands as if to make a point, but neither the tester's eyes or facial expressions could be seen through the suit's helmet. Feeling uneasy because of this, the maiden showed aggressiveness towards the tester. Either kill or be killed, Travis. The cyborg finally understood the matter. I'm my own master now. But it was too late. Oh, puny humans, you take too much time to make determinations. The tester's body erupted with flames and got close to the maiden. It was already holding her neck by the right hand. At the same time, it blasted heat, Crimson flames burned the cyborg and melted its armor into scrap. Now that's taken care of. Without even giving time to beg for mercy, the tester threw away the burnt cyborg maiden and fired multiple fireballs like a storm. The chaos cyborg was blown to pieces, not having time to burn out and leaving nothing behind. Incineration. What's her? However, the test was still going. After the first battle, another group of cyborg soldiers entered the test field as planned. They didn't realize that this test would actually kill them, so although they did enter the battle, they were all confused. It's over. The tester muttered as if she had enough and held out her right arm toward the new cyborgs. With that, the temperature inside the test field rose to an unbelievable state. The human body would not be able to withstand said heat, but fighting against the powered suit that was mimicking Astaroth, the cyborg soldiers had heat-resistant armor which allowed them to endure. That'd be enough? But the heat was only just the beginning. Let's crank up the heat. As the temperature rose again, the haze made the space wobble. The temperature was now causing airs in the cyborgs, making some of them kneel. Inside the heat, that even cyborgs that even go over human limits can't withstand, the tester walked around the test field without any stress. Won't do. You're nowhere near me. She took interest during the test explanation, but the suit, the test field, everything was nowhere near satisfying. At this rate, she wondered what would happen if she went full power on them. Being interested, she made giant balls of fire on the ceiling of the test field. But that suit's not equipped with such a weapon. I guess this power is not available for human technology yet. The fireballs on the ceiling dropped. All 5 of them. She's going supernova. One fireball was equal to a missile, and the cyborgs rolled on the floor after being blasted. The ones who were bombed directly evaporated, and the rest couldn't even handle the shockwave. They endured the overwhelming heat for a couple of seconds, but they all perished before they could do anything. Astaroth just killed 7 people. They don't even realize what just happened. Wow, finally the UFS has the weapons that match a high-ranking demon. That much firepower? Oh, magnificent. With this, we can kill those demons and shut the other organizations down. How much time do you need to make mass production of them? Name your price. Oh, geez. After seeing the disaster in the test field, the people gathered in the room were super excited. Hungry warhawks. They deserve a meal. The power of Astaroth motif suit had captured their minds. A destructive power beyond human limits. But that wasn't part of the suit. Oh, haha. Thank you. Thank you very much. Oh my god, what the hell is happening? What's going on? Who did this? Did one of my subordinates meddle with the test to mess with me? The scientist was confused, but she was putting on a smiling face at the fact that the sponsors and the military officials were happy with the test results. Checking her PDA, she needs to check it out. What are you doing? Power down your suit. If you raise it any higher, you're going to damage it. Power down? I'm doing my best to control it. But I guess toys break down ever so easily when I lose my concentration for even a moment. What are you talking about, bitch? Power down! The sponsors were still interested in how the new powerful suit, even if the scientist shouted. Looking at the test field through a heat-resistant reinforced window, the flames started to burn out from the suit's joints like a sun's prominence. Vapor shot out from the heat sinks all over the suit, and orange flames burst out of the exhaust pipe. Shut down. Why isn't she responding to my orders? Is that ordinary? Is that true? Maybe the prototype is overheating. Even if that much energy explodes, the facility will be fine, right? It's gonna be okay, everybody. Please. Gomen is sorry, right? But according to my data, the suit's functions are already shut down. But why aren't the flames stopping? With the scientists, who didn't notice the seriousness of the matter, were confused. They could see the tester in the suit walking towards them in the reinforced glass. Actually, the legs weren't standing on the ground. It was floating. You okay, bro? That was his last words. This is a two-way mirror, so she would only see a wall from here. Oh my god. Astaroth jump scare. Maybe about here? The tester muttered to herself and then held a finger towards the mirror. That was all she did. With that, a small fireball flickered at her fingertip, enlarging itself, finally melting layers of the thick, heat-resistant walls that the UFS Science Department had prepared. As the fireball increased its size, the soldiers near the wall were already evaporated. They wouldn't have even felt anything like the fear of death in front of them. No, fear of death in front of the heat that melted their bones. It was a merciful death. The female scientist in the farthest side of the room was the only one to witness the moment. Inside the melting room in flames. The moment when the suit's helmet, unable to hold the heat energy, was destroyed from the inside, beautiful crimson hair spread out from inside. A siren blazed within the facility. Oh, that's a good one. Security breach in Sector 7. Confirmed demon intrusion. All units arm yourselves and head to Sector 7. I repeat, abnormality breakout. Zooey mama, the size sure didn't fit me, so that was hard. Do humans wear these stuffy helmets every time? And they only make toys. How pathetic. Astaroth took off the damaged suit parts and stretched herself with leisure as her tightly squeezed body was freed. She didn't care about the blazing siren and hundreds of footsteps coming this way. She did what she wanted to do. That was her personality. That was why she infiltrated a UFS base, taking interest in the rumors of them mimicking her power. Where were the reinforcements? The chief scientist is down. The demons had a female body shaped, hair, red flames. No way. Astaroth. Well, you had fun trying to mimic me, so it's obvious you know my face. The scientist waiting in the next room immediately understood who she was and took cover under the desk or behind walls. This was a UFS facility. It was definitely heat resistant and had lots of anti-demon gear. It did, but... Oh! Ayah! Oh, hold on. Don't just die because I walked past you. I can't even have any fun like that. Each time she stepped forward, people near her went up in flames. The UFS scientists were paralyzed with fear and burned to their deaths as she slowly approached. Like a firefly, flying towards a bright fire. I think the phrase is a moth to a flame. It was too late for them to realize how dangerous the fire was. Humans, they never learn. Save me from the nightmare I've become. Don't come near me. Ah! The tragedy of a tower that tried to reach the skies. A fool who lost his wings when he flew too near to the sun. Today, it's your turn. Astaroth walked towards the exit. People burned to their deaths with only that. Afterwards, that day, a research facility under Task Force G was literally evaporated into thin air. She killed hundreds of people. This is like the first time in a long time we've actually had like actual death. Amazing. It's like Section G. Holy doobie. We actually get to see what this is actually a really good intimacy for it. Because we always get to see how strong Astaroth is when we play as her. We get to see her in the story when she's like just playing around and just like messing with the Taimanins. We actually get to see what her heat is like, what she does as an actual person, and it's like it actually gives characterization. They really care about Astaroth. I don't mind that though. I like Astaroth a lot. They take very good care of her, and this is obviously another chance of like they took really good care of her for this. Oh, that was great. It's like, so you want to play God, and you want to make and you want to show off what it means to be a demon. That is why she is the queen of the Inferno. Because I actually like the fact that they show that she's heating up so much that she's melting the glass, melting the steel, melting body parts and everything like that. You could literally feel the heat coming off of her. Everybody's sweating and burning alive. Honestly, quite incredible. I'm glad it's like they were cooking with this intimacy scene. I'll say that much. I'm glad they did. This was a good one. This is like What, the one with Ragnarok and Kiara, with baby Kiara? That was good too. They know what they're doing. This is a good one. This is a good outfit. The supporter will be better in the future as long as we get more machines. But it's like, this is good. This was good eatings today. But I think we'll keep it simple there. We'll finish up with that. Thank you everybody for coming by. That was really cool. We have to try out the new VR boss. I have to show off Astaroth's outfit. Talk about her. What a hottie, to say the least. The hottie. The Haughty. The hottie. Gotta love him. Love Astaroth. Love these girls working real hard to show off the boss. He's not just a total pushover. He's a total pushover if you got certain comps, but certainly he does not go out without a fight. He's a real motherfucker, to say the least. Once again, thank you everybody for stopping by. Great times were had by all. Don't forget to like, comment, rate, favorite, and subscribe. And as always, everybody, I'll see you next time. Goodbye, everybody.